Good morning, students. Welcome to Ekcel Academy's live CSEET crash course on YouTube. So today we'll be looking at logical reasoning. We'll be continuing from where we left in the previous class. Most likely we'll be able to cover all the remaining important topics today. So and then the only thing which will be left would be legal aptitude and current affairs. So before we proceed any further, let me quickly remind you to take the mock test for CSEET if you haven't already taken it up. So how do you do that? You either download the app, which is on our Android platform on the Google Play Store, or you can do one thing. You can just visit the website, that is excelacademy.com, and register there. And from there also you can take up the mock tests. So do take it up. It's highly useful, because it will give you an idea as to what kind of questions you can expect in the final exam, and on top of that you'll also get an idea as to how it is to be in the exam hall, even though if you will not be in the exam hall, but still you'll get that idea of exam environment. So it is very important that you get used to that exam environment. Otherwise what will happen is, for the first time when you do that straight away in the final exam conducted by ICSI, so then it will be slightly daunting sometimes to some people. So why take the risk? Anyway, do let us know if you have any feedback with respect to the mock tests. And yeah, that's about it. Let's get on with the lessons then. Now, I think this is the question which we had not yet solved. The previous question, if I'm not mistaken, was already solved. Yeah. So which is the previous question now? In a class of 60, where the girls are twice the number of boys. I think we had solved this, no? Yeah, we had solved this. Okay. And I think we had solved the next one also. Vijay, Mary, that was also solved. Okay. The next one. In a row of girls, Rita and Monica occupy the 9th place from the right end and 10th place from the left end respectively. Okay. If they interchange their places, Rita and Monica occupy 17th place from the right and 18th place from the left respectively. How many girls are there in the row? Okay, let's write down what exactly is the situation. In a row of girls, Rita and Monica occupy the 9th place from right. So, and 10th place from left end respectively. So let's start with left end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th place. So who is this girl who is occupying the 10th place? That is Monica from left end. Okay. Then in case of Rita, she is occupying the 9th place from the right end, they say. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this would be Rita. Now if only this was given, it would have been very difficult for us to find out how many people are there, because there might be a number of people between these two. In one case we are counting from left hand side, in other case we are counting from the right hand side. So how does it tell us or give us the full picture of as to the number of students in the class or wherever it is, okay, in that particular row? But in the next sentence they actually give us the clue, wherein they say if they interchange their places, that is if Monica goes to Rita's place and Rita comes to Monica's place, then Rita and Monica occupy 17th place from the right. Okay, that means Rita will occupy 17th place from the right. Okay, so this will be the interchanged place of Rita, and they say this position is nothing but 17th from right. Okay, and who is the other one? Monica. So this will be the replaced position of Monica, and she, according to them, will occupy 18th place from the left. 18th from left. Okay, Let's see if this will give us any clue. So if I had to write down 18th place from left would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. 1 second. Yeah. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18th place from left is same as so that is Monica's revised position, correct? No? Okay. If that is 18th place from left, so who is occupying the 8th place from right then? 17th place from okay. So now if you look at this, this is Monica's revised position, right? If they interchange their places, Rita and Monica occupy 17th place from right and 18th place from left. Monica's revised position. Earlier, who was there? It was Rita who was there, right? Yeah. Correct. Rita was in the same position earlier. Okay, once again. So now I'm looking at the revised positions. In case of revised position, they are very clear that Monica will now take Rita's place. And they have changed the direction now. In case of earlier position of Rita, where Monica is there right now, they had told us Rita is occupying the 9th place from the right end. So this would be 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So she would be in the 9th position. But at the same time, they also have told us if they interchange the places, Rita and Monica occupy 17th place from right and 18th place from left respectively. That means now Monica goes to the same place where Rita was there earlier, that is 9th place from left, and now she suddenly becomes the 18th from the left end. So this is very interesting because now we have in one direction. So if 18th from one direction, 18th place, if she is in this place, she is also in the same place where she is 9th from the left end. 18th from right, 18th from left is same as 9th from right. So that means after her, after whoever it is, Monica or Rita, there are 8 more people. If she is the 9th, obviously there would be 8 more people after her. So therefore, in this case, how many people are there? We can easily surmise 18 plus 8, there are 26 in total in that particular, what is that, row of girls. So what we had to do here was we had to look at one position for which there are 2 directions. So which is that position? The revised position of Monica or the original position of Rita. So earlier we were told that Rita was standing at the 9th position from the right. Now Monica comes to that place and it becomes the 18th from left. So now for one position we have left to right and right to left. So that gives us the ideas number of people in the row. So therefore when we add both, so we get 26 people in the row. I hope that makes sense. Let's move on. Again, a similar question. I would suggest we'll quickly solve this. Okay. In a row of girls, Shilpa is 8th from the left and Reena is 17th from the right. Again, similar, very similar question. Shilpa is 8th from the left. So I have to count this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this would be Shilpa's position. Then and Reena is 17th from the right. Okay. Okay, let's not write that. Let's see. If they interchange their position, Shilpa becomes 14th from left. Now we have 14th from left. So that means instead of counting from right, we'll count from left only. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if Shilpa goes to, Reena's place, she becomes 14th from left. So this would be the revised position of Shilpa, the earlier position of Reena. Now, from the left, that's all the same. And the same position is actually 17th from right. So this is also 17th from right. So I have to count this. 17, 16, 15, 17th is this position. Okay. 14, 13, 12, so on up to 1. So now 17th from right is same as 14th from left. Whichever way you look at it. If you count from left, it is 14th. If you count from right, it is 17th position. So how many people are there? In this case, it's far more easier. Wherein we say 16, that is from the right, plus 14 from the left. So both put together, we have 30 girls in this class or row. So that was easy. Let's move on. Mohini went to the movies 9 days ago. Okay. She goes to the movies only on Thursday. What day of the week today is? Okay. If I have to count 9 days from today. So she goes to the movies only. She went to the movies 9 days ago. And she goes to the movies only on Thursdays. So if you count movie day. Consider movie day as Thursday. Now, first day from that day, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. So first day after that would be Friday, Saturday, again Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and now Saturday. So if you are counting the 9th day from that day, so that is the Thursday, it would be a Saturday. So today, according to this question, is a Saturday. So let's move on. An application was received by an inward clerk. Okay. In the afternoon of a weekday. Okay. Next day, he forwarded it to the table of the senior clerk who was on leave that day. It was forwarded on the next day, but that clerk was on leave. The senior clerk next day evening put up the application to the desk officer. The day after that, it was put up to the desk officer. Desk officer studied the application, disposed of the matter on the same day, that is Friday. Which day was the application received by the inward clerk? Okay, let's start now. Analyze what exactly is happening. So you received the application on a weekday, that is what is given. So application has been received. And next day it was forwarded to the table of the senior clerk. Okay, next day, whichever day it is. Okay, so let's consider this as day 0. Next day means plus 1. Okay, application was forwarded to the senior clerk. Fine. After that that day the senior clerk was leave, so he came the next day. So again plus 1. It was forwarded to the desk officer. Application forwarded to the desk officer, and this desk officer did not take any extra time. The day he received the application, that is the same day as above, he disposed of the matter. So that means he didn't take any extra time. Okay. So therefore, and this day, by the way, is a Friday. That is given. Whenever he disposed of the matter, that is a Friday. So when did we receive the application? All that we need to do is just consider these three. So on day 0, we'll go in reverse order. Friday it was disposed. A day earlier to that was when it was forwarded to the desk officer by the, sorry, a day earlier to that was when it was forwarded to the senior clerk. Okay, so that would be Thursday. A day earlier to that, it was actually received by the, who is that, inward clerk. This is the senior clerk. A day earlier to that, it was received by the inward clerk. A day earlier, in the sense, it would be nothing but a Wednesday. So this was by the inward clerk. That's it. So when did we actually receive the application? We received the application on a Wednesday. If I have to check again, on Wednesday we received. Who received it? Inward clerk. So what did he do? Next day he forwarded it to the desk of what is that? Senior clerk. Next day would be Thursday. Okay. So this senior clerk was on leave on Thursday. The senior clerk, next day evening, that is Friday evening, he put up the application to the desk officer. So, but this desk officer disposed of the matter on the same day, whenever he received. When did he receive? On Friday. So therefore, which day of the week the application was actually received? Wednesday. Yeah, I think that's all for now. From number sequence, ranking, test, etc. Let's move on to a different topic. Let's see what exactly is in store. Okay. Okay, let's look at another series wherein we look at analogy. Analogy means agreement or similarity. So it's a process of reasoning from parallel cases. We look at relationship in one case and we try to identify the other relationship. For example, in this case, they have given the words flow and a river. So a river flows. If a river flows, what remains stagnant? Flowing thing is a river. Then what is the stagnant thing among these? So if we look at this, canal is not stagnant. Stream is also not stagnant. Rain, of course, is not stagnant. So what is stagnant? Then stagnant is pool. A swimming pool is always stagnant because the water doesn't move anywhere. So this is what analogy is. We look at the relationship between one set of words and then we apply the same thing to the other. Next. Okay, in this case they have given kind of decoding. So I won't touch this. You can check it out later. I'll just pause for a second. Think of this as homework. You do it later because we have done enough number of problems there. Next. Malaria is to mosquito. Then which of the other remaining pairs actually make sense with respect to the same relationship? So malaria is in fact caused by mosquito. If malaria is caused by mosquito, what is caused by dash dash, like that? Medicine cannot be caused by disease. Poison cannot be caused by death. Rat cannot be caused by plague. But cholera can be caused by water. So therefore, cholera and water makes sense because they follow the same pattern as one given in the question. Let's move on. Okay, next. We have poles and magnet because we know magnet will have two poles, a north pole and a south pole on opposite directions. So likewise, what will be there in battery in opposite directions? So if you know enough about battery, you will know it is not cells, it is not power, it is definitely not energy. On the opposite sides of the battery, we will have terminal, that is the positive terminal and the negative terminal. If you have seen a battery, you will know what exactly I'm telling, because you would have seen plus minus in case of a battery. So that is exactly what they're talking about here. Next. College is to a student and hospital is to what? This again. So student studies in a college. A nurse doesn't study in a college, she works there. Doctor works there. Treatment doesn't study, but a patient gets treated. What we can say is, if a student is getting education in college, a patient is getting treatment in hospital. The most closest is patient here. Okay, so that is the thing. Hospital, patient. Student, college, or college student, hospital patient. Next. Cloth and mill. Okay, newspaper and what? Cloth is actually manufactured in a mill. If cloth is manufactured in a mill, newspapers are printed where? In a press. That's it. If you look at printing press, that is where they print the newspapers. And what about the cloth? Cloth is manufactured in a mill. So press is in fact the right answer in this case. Each of the following questions has a group. Find out which one of the alternatives will be the another member of the group. Okay. Lucknow, Patna, Bhopal, Jaipur. Lucknow, Patna, Bhopal, Jaipur, they are all capitals of respective states. Lucknow, UP, Patna, Bihar, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, no? Jaipur, Rajasthan. Okay, yeah. Indore is not the capital. Pune, Indore, in fact, is the commercial capital, I guess. Anyway, Pune, the cultural capital of Maharashtra. Mysore, the cultural capital of Karnataka. And that is where we are based out of, by the way, Ekcel Academy. And finally, Shimla. Shimla is, in fact, we know the capital of Himachal Pradesh. So therefore, if you look at capitals, then we can easily zero in on Shimla here. So the next set would be Shimla. Then moving on, lungs, liver, kidney. Lungs, liver, kidney, all the internal organs basically. So neck is not an internal organ, because if you look at lungs, liver, kidney, they're all internal organs of a human being. Ears not, nose not. So which is the other internal organ which can complete the set here out of the options given? That would be heart. Next. Root, stem, branch. All these are parts of a tree, right? Root, stem and branch. So fertilizer cannot be part of a tree. Wood cannot be part of the tree. Wood is made from tree. Tree, we are talking about tree, the parts of tree, and tree cannot be part of a tree, by the way. So it can easily consider leaf as the next best choice to complete this set. Okay. So let's move on to the other set. In each of the following questions consists of pair of words bearing a relationship. Among these, from amongst the relatives, pick up the pair that best illustrate a similar relationship. Again, analogy only. Letter and word. Word is made up of letters. Many letters will make up one word. So letters make up a word. Okay, there is no doubt about that. Likewise, what else do we have here which depicts the same relationship? Can we say many pages make up a book? Yeah. Products will not make factory. Club will not make people. People may be part of club. Homework school, no, the rest won't work at all. So simply select page book. Now next question is lively and dull. Sorry. If you look at this, lively and dull are obviously opposites. Now, which of the given choices depicts the same relationship? Happy and gay, one and the same. So game actually means being happy. Factory and labor, not opposite. Flower and bud, definitely not opposite. Whereas in case of option A, that is employed and jobless, they are opposites, so we can easily say, so employed and jobless is the right option. So select that as the right answer. Next, scales and fish. So a fish will have scales. It is nothing but the outer layer of the fish. So bear and fur, woman and dress, skin and man, tree and leaves, bear and fur. Okay, scales is the outer layer. Outer layer. And whose outer layer is the scale? It is the outer layer of a fish. So that is the thing. In case of bear and fur, it actually makes sense, but the problem here is if it was fur and bear, then it would have made sense. Right now it is in the reverse order. Whereas if you look at skin and man, there it makes sense. Why? Because the outer layer is on the left hand side, and whose outer layer is that? It's a man's outer layer, so therefore that makes sense. Next, numismatist. Numismatist is a person who collects coins, right? So the one who collects coins is referred to as numismatist. Next, this one is very easy. The one who collects stamps is known as a philatelist. Philately is in fact the habit, that is the name of the habit, no, wherein you can collect. I mean, if you are collector of stamps and if you are collecting stamps, it is called philately, and the person doing that is called philatelist. Next, chalk and blackboard. We need chalk to write on blackboard, right? Likewise, we need ink to write on paper. That's it. So what is required and where it is used? What is required and where it is used? Okay, let's look at the next one. It's based on a relationship apparently. Museum, they say, is maintained by a curator, whereas in case of a prisoner, who maintains a prisoner? A jailer maintains a prison. Prison is maintained by a jailer. Next, wax and grease, milk is to what? Okay, this you'll have to have some kind of prior knowledge. To make grease, we need wax. Okay. So to prepare what? We need milk. To prepare drink, no. Ghee, yes, but ghee is not immediately made, so not protein, definitely not. Curds, so immediately from milk you can definitely make curds, so therefore we can consider curds here. So that is one thing. Then market demand farming what? So now how do we establish the relationship here? Market, no, how is demand determined? Based on the position of that particular product in the market. Basically that's how it is, no? So market for any product or even service depends on what? On the demand. So whatever is, let's say this is the market for X product. How does it determine? Based on the demand for that particular product. So if there is X, this is the market, then how is that arrived at? Based on the demand for that particular product. For example, now they say pan India movies. So pan India movie, when they say pan India movie, what they're trying to say is we are trying to market the film across the country. How do they do that? Can every film be marketed across the country? Obviously not. Only if there is demand for such a movie. Likewise, farming can be done only if there is a farmer. No, monsoon. Food grain and supply is definitely not the right option. Farmer or monsoons. So now what are we mostly dependent on? Farming is dependent on, in at least in Indian context, monsoons. Okay. Without that, there is no farming, because mostly we rely on the water, that is the rainwater. Paddy is related to the field in the same way as steel is related to dash. Paddy is related to the field. So where is paddy grown? We know paddy is grown in a field. If paddy is grown in a field, where is steel manufactured? Steel is obviously manufactured in a factory. So therefore, factory in this case makes the right sense. Okay, that's all about analogy. So we looked at few questions. I hope that was useful. So if you need few more questions, I would suggest please go to our website. You will find lots of questions there. So now let's move to non-verbal reasoning. So we haven't solved too many questions there. So let me try to cover that also today. We'll take a break of a minute or two and then we'll continue. Welcome back. Let me just open the topic first. Just give me a second. Yeah. So now, in this case, if you look at this, where were we? Yeah. So now, find the number of triangles in the given figure, they say. There are so many triangles, no? So how do we ascertain this? So Is there any way we can do this? Yeah, of course. But if you try to ascertain the triangles without actually having some sort of mechanism, then it becomes extremely daunting. So what I would do is I will simply name the intersections. That way it will be easy for you to identify the corner points. For instance, wherever there is a corner point or the intersection, I will just name it A, B, C, D. These are the major corner points. Then we have E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Then inside also there are no M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. Did we miss out anything? Yeah, T here. Then U, V, W, X, and Y. Oh, 25 points. So now in this we'll have to find the number of triangles. So let's try to find out the simplest triangles first. For example, the smallest one like AML. I'll write it down here. AML is a triangle. So likewise, what else do we have of that sort? LRK, KWD is also a triangle. So I'm going in one order, that way we are not missing out anything. So, and if I write down the alphabets also, it will be easy for me to check later on if I have covered that in our answer or not. So this is exactly the way to solve these type of questions. There is no other way. I mean, you can still work it out in your mind, but it will be highly time consuming. So DWJ, JXI, then IYC, after that CYH, HTG, GOB. So did we miss out anything? Last top line, BOF, FNE, then finally EMA. So these are the simple triangles: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12 in number. So that was about the simple ones. Now let us look at those triangles which have two components. For example, if you look at this AEL, so AEL has in it AEM or EMA plus AML. So both the triangles put together, we have one triangle, a bigger one. So now we are looking at such big triangles. So AML is 1, sorry, AEL is 1. Then we have KDJ, that also has two triangles in it. Then HIC, all the corner points. Then FBG, then that's all, no? The triangles with two triangles inside it. So there are 4 in number. All the 4 corners basically. Now the triangles composed of 3 components. So 3 components would be like AFP. AFP is one such triangle with 3 components, right? So AFP or APF, whichever way you look at it. Then EQB. EQB also has 3 components. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 different components, not exactly 3 triangles, but 3 components. So that's why I said components. EQB is 1. Likewise, we have BQH. Then we have GVC. Then we have CVJ. After that, what do we have? DUL, no? DUL is also there. DUL. So anything else we missed out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. DUL. KPA is there, KPA, and IUD is also there. Yeah, that's all. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 in number, 3 components, 8 triangles. Now let's look at double of 3. Okay, so double of 3 means triangles of 6 components. So which would those be? So the first of, that is the top first, ASB. If you look at ASB, there are 6 components: 1 2 3 4 5, sorry, 5 6, all the dotted regions, 6 components. So I'll just erase those. So ASB is one such triangle. So likewise we also have the opposite side, DSC, that is the exact opposite. So that also will have 6 different components. Likewise on the left hand side it will be DSA, and on the right hand side it will be BSC. So those also will have 6 components. Then what else do we have? Anything else? Only 4, is it? Can't be just 4, no? So ASD we have considered, is it? ASD is considered, BSC is considered, ASB is considered, DSC is also considered. Anything else? AKF that also has 6 components. Likewise BEH also has components, same components, EBH or BEH. Then we have GCJ, that also will have same 6 components. And lastly LDI or IDL. So there are 8 in number total, 6 components triangles. Now let us look at slightly bigger triangles also. The first half or the diagonal half, so that would be ADB. So ADB will have 12 components in it. Okay, likewise what else do we have? ABC also. Okay, likewise CDB, then CDA. So there are 4 in number, those triangles, big huge triangles, 4 corners. So in total, if I have to count from the beginning, so simple triangles are 12 in number, 12 plus 4 plus 8 plus 8 plus 4, 12 plus 4 plus 8 plus 8 plus 4. So that will be 28 plus 8, 36. 36 triangle in total. So so non-verbal reasonings questions will always be like this, because in this case you'll have to think about the possibilities basically. So once you are able to think about the possibilities, then you will easily identify how many such triangles, squares, whatever the question might ask, are there in the actual figure. So now I just gave you one example. What you can do is you can just register on our website. There are many such examples which we have solved there. So due to paucity of time, I won't be taking up everything, because it takes a lot of time to mark all these and then identify one by one. Otherwise it will be very difficult for you to understand what exactly we are doing here. Okay, let's move to the next question. A dice is numbered from 1 to 6 in different ways. You know how a dice looks. So it will have 6 sides. A normal rolling dice will have 6 sides. So if it's 1 here, then 1 If I have to draw that. Wait, let me try to draw a rough figure. Okay. So now we are seeing three sides of a dice. So the other three sides are at the back. So which are the sides which we are not seeing? Right to this, then back side, and one below. So these are the three sides which we are not able to see, but we are able to see the remaining three sides of a dice. So that is how I mean, I'm sure you would have seen a dice, a rolling dice. A dice is numbered from 1 to 6 in different ways, they say. 1 is adjacent to 2, 3 and 5. So 1 is adjacent means it is next to. If consider this as 1, it is adjacent to 2, 3 and 5. Then which of the following statements is necessarily true? So what we do not have right now is 4 and 6. So we can consider 4 and 6 as those numbers which are in down and the back side. So let 4 be here and 6 be at the back side. So those two are there. Now, which of the following statements is necessarily true? 1 is adjacent to 4. 1 may or may not be adjacent to 4. Why? Because now I assume that 4 is at the bottom. I can also assume that 6 is at the bottom. So therefore, statement 1 is not necessarily true. It can be true, but not compulsory. 2 is adjacent to 5. 2 is definitely not adjacent to 5 because you can see 2 is on the left hand side whereas 5 is on the right hand side. So they are not next to one another. 1 is adjacent to 6. It may or may not be. When will 1 be adjacent to 6? If 6 is brought down and 4 is sent to the back side. That's also not possible. The only statement we are left with is option D, wherein they say 4 is adjacent to 6. It has to be the case. One is at the bottom, the other one is at the back side. They are anyway adjacent, whichever way you place it. Either 4 at the bottom and 6 at the back side, or 4 at the back side and 6 at the bottom. So wherever you place it, it will still be the same. So let's move on. How many dots are there on the dice face opposite the one with 3 dots? Opposite the one with 3 dots. Okay. So let's try to identify what is next to what. In case of 3 dots, what is next to it? Let's try to identify from the given figure. If you look at figure 2, you can see 3 is next to 1. 3 is also next to 4. So that means 1 and 4 cannot be opposite to 3. That is true. Likewise, if you look at figure number 4, you'll also notice that 3 is adjacent to 2. Yeah. Then if you look at figure number 1, 3 is also adjacent to 6. So if 3 is adjacent to 1, 4, 2, 6, it can be opposite to only one number, which is the missing one, which is 5. That's it. So the one which is adjacent to 3 would be the one which is opposite to 3 would be number 5. Next. Let's move on. 4 usual dice are thrown on the ground. The total numbers on the top faces of these 4 dice is 13, as the top faces showed 4, 3, 1 and 5 respectively. Okay, what they're trying to say is usual dice. See what is the rule with usual dice is the numbers on opposite sides should always be equal to 7. The sum of numbers on opposite side will always be equal to 7. So now they threw dice 4 times or 4 different dice are thrown on the ground. So the number on the top faces of these 4 dice is 13, as the top faces showed 4, 3, 1 and 5 respectively. So the top faces showed 4, 3, 5 and 1 respectively. So what is the total of the faces touching the ground? So it would be the opposite numbers. So 4 is on top, the opposite number should total to 7. So the difference is 3, 4, then 2, then 6. So the other numbers which were touching ground would be 3, 4, 2, 6. The total of that would be 3 plus 4, 7 plus 2, 9, 9 plus 6, 15. So in total, the numbers touching down came up to 15 numbers, or rather 15. Next. Find the maximum number of straight lines required to make the given figure. Okay, this is interesting. Once again, we'll have to name these, otherwise it will be difficult for us to identify what exactly is happening. So if I consider this as the triangle, I'll just try to redraw the same thing, roughly at least. I hope I have drawn proper figure. Yeah, roughly, it's not making sense. It should intersect here, no? Since it's not a straight line, I'm just trying to adjust it manually. So, but I hope you can understand what exactly I have tried to depict. Anyway, now let's try to number them so that it will be easy for us to identify. Number in the sense, give them names A. So again, all the intersections are being numbered or given names. D, E, F, G, H, I. So here also it is not exactly the same. J, K, L, M, N, O. So there is no space here. Okay. So now, how many straight lines are required? So let us count the straight lines which we have. DE is a straight line, FH is a straight line, IL is a straight line, and BC is also a straight line. So we have 4 straight lines anyway, straight away. So apart from that also we have few straight lines like DO, though I have not drawn it properly, and EM, then FN and FN, HN. HN is also there. Did I duplicate anything? DE, FH, IL, BC is there. Then slant lines would be, there are a few more, no? DO, EM, FN, HN, AC is also there. AC, AB, and BC. BC I think we already covered. Yeah. Anything else which we are left? AC, AB, DO, EM, FN, HN. Oh, there is one more, no? So that would be IM. So that is also there. So how many such straight lines then? So if we look at this figure, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 straight lines required to make this image. Okay. Moving on. Okay, we have this triangle. Let me try to draw this at least. I think it looks perfect. So now, how many number of triangles are there in the given figure, they say. So let's again rename them A, B. So all the corner points. Then F, G, H, I, J. This should be fairly easy compared to our previous problem. So A on top, AFJ, then EJI, IDH, HGC, FGB. That would be all the simple triangles, no? Yeah, simple ones. So now 3 components, one would be EHB, then DJB, then IAC, likewise DJB is done, IAC, GAD is there, GAD. Then what else do we have? EFC, EFC is also there, EFC. That's all, I guess, no? Anything else? One is the simple one from the top, the other would be the 6 components one. So 3 components one. So both put together 5 plus 5, we have 10 such triangles. That's all. So so now that's all for the class. I have tried to cover all the important topics, or whatever I thought would be important from the point of view of exams. So I'm sure there are so much more to cover, especially if you look at the number of questions which you have solved. It's just a sample. So of course it won't be possible to cover everything in a crash course. It is just supposed to give you some kind of revision, some kind of fill up or support, so that you can appear for the CSEET exam. So if you want the full course, let's say you want to solve all the problems, you want to, you want more practice, you want all the topics to be covered extensively, we have already done that. The recorded sessions are there on our website. Go to our website, excelacademy.com, register for CSEET, free of course. You will get everything sorted topic wise. So if possible, we'll do one more class session of logical reasoning. So do let me know in the comment section if you need one more session. Otherwise we can wind up here, and tomorrow I can take up legal aptitude. So thank you for joining. So before we wind up, let me quickly remind you. So we have an app on the Android Play Store. So please do download that for registering for CSEET, the one which I just now mentioned. So do register. Apart from all the lessons, on top of that you also get quizzes, daily quiz. Then we will have mock tests and whatnot, even the notes. Okay. Anyway, thank you. See you tomorrow.